guys, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to say thank you for subscribing and liking my page. First of all, I'm sorry for not getting a video out in a while. I kind of been just going back through the joys of life and getting everything situated before Logan and I go back to work within this next coming week. So I apologize again. I will be posting more videos. It might not be as frequently, but I will most definitely get some out to you guys. If you hear something grunting, I have Ayla here. She's hanging out with me tonight for my video. So to start, I just wanted to say that this video is going to be about my labor exactly with Ayla. I know that in my last video, I kind of went over the crazy, chaotic hospital scene that had kind of happened, but I never went into full details about my labor. To start, Eli, I'll just go ahead and briefly just explain about him. With his labor, it was 6 hours. My water broke around 11 something that morning, maybe a little bit closer to 12, and then I end up having him around exactly like 6 o'clock. That was fairly easy. I took it a lot better than what I anticipated I was going to. Everyone always told me that it hurt so bad, but I didn't feel as if it did. I felt like it was, to be expected. I had a really high pain tolerance 4 years ago than what I did now, but to start, that labor was pretty intense as well. I didn't have any pain medicine. I didn't have an epidural, so I had him all natural. It was very painful, but it wasn't something that I couldn't handle. It wasn't something that I screamed with. It wasn't something that I was just, in so much pain I just wanted to stop it, or I needed an epidural. So I remember the only thing that I wanted when I was pregnant and in labor with him was the lights off. So I wanted it to be like really dark, and then I just wanted a wet washcloth on my forehead. Okay, so I remember the aftercare with my son. I did have to have stitches, so it was kind of a little painful. Whenever I got home, I still had to, use the squirt bottle, and I still had to put the witch hazel pads on me and use the big pads that they give you in the underwear. The underwear are the most comfortable things about the aftercare of labor. I remember that's all I wanted to wear for the longest time ever. Even with my daughter, I brought a bunch home from the hospital that they give you extra, but I'm trying to get her comfortable. She's like laying right in front of me. So anyways, with Ayla, going into labor, it was around 12 o'clock when my water officially broke. I only had my water breaking. That was the sign of active labor, and they confirmed I was 3 centimeters dilated. But I wasn't having contractions at this time. I had them earlier that morning around 5 a.m., but they ended up going away. That's what I considered was Braxton Hicks, but later I found out, of course, that I was actually in labor. After I got back and admitted to the room, the labor, like I said, I still didn't have contractions. I was kind of just hanging out there. I remember just being super hungry at first because I was waiting for Logan to be able to eat, since he couldn't eat because he was fixing to go back for surgery. So I didn't eat anything. And that morning I had got up at 5 a.m. so I was very tired, and I tried to keep taking a couple naps, but I just kept getting woken up, and nurses come in and out, OBs come in and out, check on you, and everyone calling and everyone finding out about how Logan was, and now they're concerned because I was in labor and just how everything was going to play out. And so it was just way too much happening that I couldn't just relax. But my nurse was one of the ones that kept me very calm, and also my mother-in-law Tammy, and then my mom was calling me periodically to check on me, so that was all very helpful as well. But going through the first part of my labor, it didn't hurt at all. Like I said, I wasn't having any contractions, and at that time I was still rejecting the Pitocin. I kept trying to get my nurse to hold off on giving me the Pitocin because I didn't want to speed up my labor process, because the whole situation with Logan going into surgery at the same time. So after we finally went through the whole crazy, chaotic scene of Logan and his ordeal in the hospital, when I started the Pitocin, my labor contractions got a little more intense as the time went on. By that time I was just kind of enduring the pain, and it didn't get really bad until the point when I got like 7 centimeters dilated, and the look on my face, I must have just like kind of portrayed a look to my mother-in-law that I was just like in so much pain, and she asked me if I wanted an epidural, and I knew since I didn't have one with Eli, I didn't want to have one with Ayla, and I kept saying no, I'm fine the whole time. But until I got to the 7 centimeters, I was like, yes, I want one. But then when they come to check on me, the nurse, she was like, you're already at 7 centimeters. Do you really want an epidural? You only have three more centimeters to get through, and then she's gonna be here in no time. So I was like, no, I'll hold off a little longer. So I end up waiting and not getting an epidural, so at all. And I end up only having the IV pain medicine that they give you. I'm not sure the exact terminology, but so I didn't have any of that. The actual labor part of pushing her out, I remember just screaming because it hurt so bad. And I think it was also not the fact that it was so painful. I think it was just emotional stress as well, because Logan wasn't in the room. I think that's another reason why it was, so painful to me at the second time around. And the other thing that I did through my labor that kind of got me through the first part before I got to like the very end of my labor was sitting on a yoga ball. With my son Eli, I couldn't really get up and move around with the bed, being out of the bed, but at the hospital I delivered out with Ayla, I was able to sit on the ball and bounce on the ball, which really helped getting through my contractions. So every time your contraction would start, she would tell you to start bouncing, and then when your contraction stopped, she'd tell you just to sit and relax. So that was very helpful. And then towards the end, right before I end up pushing her out, I had to actually use this peanut yoga ball type of thing. It's like kind of shaped like a peanut. It goes in between your legs and you lay on your side. It's a very uncomfortable position. It's very painful. I remember just crying, saying I didn't want to do it because it hurt so bad, but the nurse kept telling me that I needed to because I needed to do it because she wasn't dropping low enough into my cervix. So for a while, they actually kept trying to get her to drop and she wouldn't. She wasn't coming down far enough. I was almost to the point where I had a C-section, but thankfully I was able to get her to come down enough, and I was able to push through one last push of those crazy yoga ball exercises and to get her to where she was positioned correctly and she was ready to come. And then finally I was able to push her out. Again, like I said in my last video, she was 7 pounds, 9 ounces. She was born at 7:01 and she was 20 inches long. So that was something, one of the second best experiences in my life is giving birth to Ayla. My first, of course, was being Eli. He was 7 pounds, 8 ounces. So they were right around the same weight. The other part of my labor was the part where once she was out, I didn't tear at all. So that was definitely nice, being able to recover very fast after I gave birth to her. After I gave birth to her, because I got up so early that morning and because of all the stuff that happened that day, I was very emotionally drained. Everyone would come in and I was just falling asleep on them and I felt so bad. And also, another part was that Logan wasn't there and everyone kept trying to hold her, and I was just being very selfish because I wanted him to hold her. But other than that, my labor experience was quite nice, being what it was and what I had to go through. If I had to do it all over again, I would. Of course, I would try to do it a little differently as far as having Logan in the room with me, but of course we all know that wasn't something that he couldn't have handled himself, and if he was able to be there, I know he would have been there in a heartbeat. So, we try to take it day by day and get through that process of, just getting over it, I guess you could say. But other than that, the pain and the aftercare of labor was very easy, and I remember it hurt a little worse than the first time, but it wasn't something that I wasn't able to get through. Sorry, she's being very fidgety, so I had to move her. But anyways, everything with labor was great. I'll be posting more videos and upcoming things in my life. Once I get back to work, I won't be posting as frequently, but I will still make sure that I'm able to get some stories and stuff out for you guys. If you have any ideas of what you guys would like me to post on my channel, let me know, and I look forward to making my next video for you guys. Thank you for watching.